Yo, what's up guys, Rocky here, and oh man, there is so many MMO refugees coming to Black Desert right now, so I thought this would be the perfect time to revise my old Guardian guide, mainly for Succession because it's such an easy class to get into, especially for new and returning players that may not be necessarily familiar with the mechanics and the combat systems of BDO. After all the experience that I've gathered, I think this is gonna be the one that's gonna be useful for most of you guys. For those who don't know me, I'm Reiki. I'm mainly streaming Node Wars and Siege over on Twitch, and I've been playing Guardian ever since the class came out. Kind of just trying new classes here and then, but Guardian always been my main, so that's why I'm gonna make this Succession guide for you today for grinding. I'm gonna go over the principles, the basics, and a general grind combo that you can use on most of the spots. So before we get started, there is currently support your content creator event running right now, and if you're purchasing Parallels or buying the game package, please, if you would use my code Reiki when doing so on the website, it gives me a small kickback, but man, it goes a long way. It's such a great support, so thank you. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the guide. So what we're gonna talk first about is how we kind of move around on Guardian, because it's necessarily not a fast class, so it can be a little bit daunting actually moving around. First thing first, let's talk about the general mobility, which is also the PV iframe that will negate all damage only in PV, which is what we use. The first Fierce Disdain is a sideways iframe into Sturdy Step, which is a dash. It shows as a forward guard, which is in PvP, but actually when you're grinding, it's a full PV iframe, so it will negate all damage. And now we immediately follow it with a Claw Reveal, which is a quick buff. You want to use that almost all the time on Succession. Now, that's kind of how we move around, right? Like the small dashes. This is going to be used when you're moving around between the packs or maybe at the start. For long runs between mob packs, you want to use the Mountain's Echo, which is the third rebump. So Mountain's Echo, and then straight into Juggernaut, which is your just forward F, your general dash. It also gives you movement speed, and Mountain's Echo gives you some DP. Also, if you want, you can chain Juggernaut into Frigid Wind with forward LMB during the skill, which gives you another small slide. We have the mobility down. Now let's talk about the combo. So what we start the combo with is generally always all the same, right? You move in, do your basically pre-buff mobility, gives you other XP and crit damage. And then we start with Shift QQ, which is your Black Blood Circle and Black Blood Eruption. Now the skill itself does high evasion debuff, minus 15%, and also it's like a 360 AoE that kind of pulls and damages the mobs around you. If you want to actually pull the mobs in, all you need to do is just hold Shift Q at the start, which makes like a big bubble that also heals you. And then as the mobs come in, they will get closer to you and the skill activates, and then you can start dealing damage. Now, what we're gonna follow up with is, and again, our mobility to reposition ourselves to give us a better position to hit all the mobs at the same time. So let's say you're now in the middle of the mob pack, you activate both of the skills. Now you're gonna dash away, and from here we're gonna continue the next part of our combo, right? The next part is Avalanche Strike into Gatecrasher. Now, Avalanche Strike is a great skills to link skills into because it gives you perfect animation links for Guardian. Now, it really depends how you link skills on Guardian, because if you do it wrongly, let's say do Boulder Crush, and then I want to do Gate Crush, you saw this huge animation. So we want to link skills in a specific way, and SLB, which is Avalanche Strike, is a perfect skills to link skills together. It will always link skills in a certain really good way. So we got here, right? We could do Avalanche Strike into Gate Crush, and now you saw the animation is way faster. One thing, you want to use Gatecrasher every other rotation because it has a very long cooldown, so it may not be available necessarily all the time. But we do that, we follow up with Avalanche Strike, Gatecrasher, and now we go into the main damage combo, which is just Shift R and B, Shift F, right? We do Mutilation, Black Blood Slaughter into Mountain Slam, right? And after that, we immediately follow up is Shift R and B, Shift F, and then spacebar, SLMB. This is our filler at the end, right? The spacebar is just another quick refresh of the buffs, and here at the bottom is Boulder Crush and Savage Axe. These are our filler skills. Most of the time you're gonna be using SLMB, but you might not be using Savage Axe, which is the lowest damage skill that you have in your kit. But it's really useful in some situations where you want like a longer forward guard to heal yourself up, because all Guardian skills have a passive that gives you HP back. Also stack it up with like a Frenzy Drought, even more HP per hit. Now let's talk about the ult. The 100% ult is on our spacebar skill, the claw reveal, so you don't really need to think about it. You just unlock it. Whenever you're doing spacebar, it will just do the ult. It's really quick, does decent damage. Don't need to worry about it. So now if I do it continuously, you may see that sometimes I don't have the Gate Crusher available, right? But now you see my shift is coming up again. Now it's ready and I immediately jump into it. And when it's not ready, we just skip the Gate Crusher part completely and just do it next rotation. It doesn't really matter. I do the longer filler here now, right? Now it's ready. I do Gate Crusher again. But it's very, very simple. So it may not be on paper the best guide in terms of add-ons, but this way, if you do the skills this way, this is the best way to actually link the skills, right? Like I did the guide before and it was on paper really good, but it didn't feel all right. I was doing it always so differently. So this is actually how I grind. And for me, it feels the best way, right? Now let's see the add-ons. The add-ons gonna explain you a little bit how the skills are linked together, right? So we start, let's say, with our claw reveal. Sometimes you don't start with it, I sometimes forget. So that's why these skills both have the same buffs, because you can use claw reveal whenever you want. Even if you're dashing around, you can use it even before Avalanche Strike. Generally, I would use claw reveal whenever you just dash, whenever you do this day into sturdy step. Just use claw reveal, easy buff, gives you crit damage, perfect. So we started with Blast Circle, this gives us most damage, attack speed, right, perfect. We dash around, then we do like our Avalanche Strike. See, on Avalanche Strike I put my debuff for the evasion and DP. Immediately follow into Mutilation plus Black Blast Slaughter, just to shift R&B together, just always do these skills together, don't need to worry about it. Here I just have some general buffs. Then we follow up into Shift F, which is our primary tier 3 skill. The reason I don't have attack speed plus 10% because it overrides the other attack speed. So when it runs out, you would need to immediately fill in with the refresh, which you kinda can because it has the same duration as the cooldown, but it's not, sometimes you won't have it up. So I'm opting for even more minus DP and crit damage because I think overall this will let you do more damage. And it will be super consistent. Your attack speed and monster damage is gonna be perfectly up all the time. You don't need to worry about it. Now we do claw reveal again, like a refresh of the first buffs. And then the filler is just Boulder Crush and then Savage Hack, right? I don't think I need to refresh anything again, so I just put like recovery for HP and mana if you need it. Maybe some people don't have pots, right? So I think this could be pretty useful. So here are the add-ons. It's not the fastest class in between packs. That's why if you go for the spots where you have to run around a lot, Guardian doesn't perform the best, but at the higher end, it's pretty good and it's a lot of fun, and it's especially not really heavy on your fingers and APM, right? The best thing is the skill effects, even in remastered high opacity, are pretty mellow, so you won't get really flashbang like, let's say, grinding on Megu. Really big plus. But hey guys, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to post your comments. Also join my Discord. I'm always there to answer any questions about Guardian or Archer. And yeah, that's kind of it. Also, post in the comments below if you would like to see, let's say, part 2 with Awakening, because, Awakening, it is my favorite spec, but still not not good enough in my opinion after all the buffs, but I'll be glad to do it after the recent changes. I think it's pretty decent for grinding. So yeah, post down below if you want to see that. Last thanks to all the new content creators and returning content creators coming into BDO, especially Canon Stoops and all the other ones. Man, it's crazy. The game is popping off. Thank you very much for just making the game blow up, especially to our small little streamer content creator Zach Raw. Man, huge. Don't forget to use my code Reiki again when purchasing Perilous or the game package. And man, thank you guys. Hope you enjoy the guide, and see you on Guardian. Peace.